Welcome, everyone, to the Art Gallery on Print Island. I am your curator, Chris Hyde, and today I am very excited to welcome Courtney Werne from Branded by Woods. Welcome to the Art Gallery, Courtney.
I'm
So
excited
good
to
to
be
have
here.
you. Oh, good. So am I. Excited to have you. Uh, we've known each other and bantered back and forth for a long time, so this is kind of fun to have a little formal, informal get together. So glad you're here.
I'm a little nervous, so
Uh,
let's see how this goes.
So am I. Every time I do these, I get nervous. Like, I hope I ask good questions. I hope I do the right thing. So
Yeah.
don't worry, I'm just as nervous. All right. We're going to start with an easy question, though.
Okay.
Who is Courtney Werne? And
Well, I like to say that I bridge the gap between brand strategy and print production so that ideas don't fall apart, but they come to life the way that they were intended.
oh,
In other words, I'm a director of art and design.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. And you
Yeah.
are with Branded by Woods. Tell me a little bit about Branded by Woods.
Yeah. So we like to say that we're a creative company. We are a third generation owned company. Our current owner today, her grandfather started the business in 1971. We started as a commercial printer, and from there, in 1980, we kind of moved into, I would say, second generation took over, and we moved into offset printing. Still really heavy, strong in commercial printing. And then in 2015, I came in and I was kind of told that there was no design. And from there, I came into the pre-press department and I really started to take the design department and elevated, I guess you would say, so to speak. But we started to grow that side of the business as well. So we have print, we have promotions, and we have branding design. So that's why we like to say we're all encompassing, we're a creative company.
Okay. So what's your background? Are you classically trained designer?
I am. I graduated with a bachelor's of science in graphic design. Whenever I came home from college, there really wasn't many opportunities for a graphic design position in our community. We're a very small community. Honestly, I wasn't going to come back home after college. I wanted to be in a big city, and I wanted to work for a design agency. But life doesn't always work out that way, and I came back home. My husband now, who was my boyfriend at the time, he said he was in education and he wanted to come back home and teach in a smaller area. So I came back home, and I looked for about a year for a design position, found an entry level graphic design position for a home decor catalog company, and really I worked there for 4 years, and I really, really learned a lot of just like the basics, right? Like layout. I feel like I mastered my image manipulation skills and also like color correction and things like that. From there, I kind of was like, okay, I'm in this 4 years. I don't know that I'm really going to continue here or like grow here. And so I took a position with a local furniture manufacturing company for their marketing coordinator because I was like, I kind of want to see the marketing side of this, you know? So I took a position with that company, was with them for 3 years, I think. Yeah, I think 3 years. And again, it was one of those that I walked in on the first day that I was started there and I was like, this isn't me. um, I don't know that this is gonna last, but I'm gonna stick this out and at least try and gather like all the learning skills that I can on the marketing side. So I kind of had my eye open for a different design position, and it just happened that a position opened with Branded by Woods, at the time known as Woods Printing Company, for a pre-press designer. or pre-press operator slash graphic designer. And I applied, and that's kind of how I got into this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So, but your role has certainly evolved since you first got there. So
absolutely.
you're not. I'm assuming are you still doing pre-press, or are you pretty much on branding and strategy the whole time now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Pre-press was just kind of the start. And, like I said before, I was told whenever I interviewed for the position, for the pre-press position, I was told there is no design. There's no design here. Like, that's not what this is. And I said, explain the job description to me before I sign on for this. And so they did. They're like, you're going to be sending files back to the press. You're going to be typesetting, things like that. And I'm like, at its most basic form, that's design. Like it's
Right.
just how you um turn it, I guess. I don't know how you work your skills.
Right. Well, so a little manifestation happened there because you did make a design role. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Looking back on it, it's crazy for sure.
Well, it sounds like the role that you have now is sort of took your first two jobs and kind of mashed them together. You were
Yeah.
working in print, working to a catalog, doing all the design stuff, then you got into strategy, and now you kind of live in the life of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah,
Very cool.
definitely.
Very cool. Now, getting into your work, I've seen it, and we're going to be seeing some samples coming up. You bring a lot of personality to it. Because I've had the joy of seeing your work many times, and it's got a signature to it, and I try to do the same with my work as well. But
Yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about how you how you think about it, how you bring that personality to it? Because I love it.
Um, I don't know. I really don't. And that's crazy, I know. But honestly, I really want my designs to have like I want there to be fun and um I wanted whenever I was growing up, I said I wanted to be an animator. And I feel like you can see that in my designs. Like I'm very comfortable with an illustration style of design. I try to, design across the board and whatever the project is asking and cater to that style. But at the same time, I'm very comfortable in the illustration style of designing, and that's what I love to do. And for a while, I didn't draw a lot, but now that I have my daughter, she asks me constantly to draw her things, and I'm like, I can do this. I can totally do this. And then she's like, Mom, I need you to tamp this down a little bit. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh, that's funny. That is so cool.
But yeah,
Uh,
as far as personality, I really I don't know, like I love storytelling. And however I can lean into the story that needs to be told, um, that's really the direction that I try to go.
that's cool. Yeah, and we will see some of the illustrations that you've done, and because there's so much personality to them, I think they automatically make you think what's the story behind that, which is kind of the cool part, I think. Because they have so much and when I say personality, it's the traditional kind, but they're very unique. And again, I'm talking before we get to see them, but we will. We're teasing the audience. So, all right. So, what were I know you went to school, but who are your big influences? Like, who are you, or what styles were you taken by when you were studying? And I know you mentioned a little bit about, you like storytelling. I, me personally, I think I see a little bit of Disney in some of what you do, but maybe I'm wrong. But I'd love to hear what your influences were.
Yeah. So, you know, Disney adult is one of those words that people you either know what a Disney adult is or you don't, and you know you're on both sides of the spectrum there. But I like Disney. I love going to the parks because just the amount of storytelling that is in those parks could be a whole I don't know, like it's people go to the parks to ride the rides. I get that, but at the same time, like being able to stop and see all of the little touches that Disney does, like that inspires me. I mean, I'm pretty sure I we had a project here and we were working on for signage for a restaurant, and um, the designer that was working on it, he's like, give me some inspiration. I'm looking for something to do for the outdoor signage, something different, and they want something unique, and I'm like, I have this really cool inspiration that is down in the Disney Springs district. And I'm like, this is, if you could do anything, this is what I think you should do. And he was like, okay, let's see if we can, tweak this so it's ours, but still looks like it, and or mimics that style. And so he did, and the customer loves it. And to this day, like we get people that walk by and they're like, we really like that sign down the street, and it's just one of those things that whatever I can pull, or just soak up the knowledge whenever I go down there, because we go down to Disney a lot. But whatever I can soak up from my trips down there, like that fuels my creativity, honestly. I also get a lot of my inspiration from walking through the grocery stores. um, it's crazy. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but I love walking down the food aisles and looking at all of the packaging and the labels. I can't tell you how many products I've bought on label design alone, and my husband is like, we get it home and we try it and it's horrible. But I'm like, he goes, Courtney, can we not do that? But I'm like, it looks good. If it looks good, surely it has to be good, So I pull a lot of inspiration from just walking around and taking in scenes and trying to commit it to memory and say, or take a picture of it and be like, I could use this somewhere.
That's awesome. All right, jumping into sort of the idea of taking your ideas and having them come to life. Are you, and what you have behind you, which is, and I don't mean physically behind you, but like the printing aspect. Do you feel like a mad scientist being able to? Because I know you get Branded by Woods does a fair amount of self promotion, and that must feel like a kid in a candy store.
It is. I get in a lot of trouble because there are a lot of things that I'm like, I want this. And they're like, okay, there's a limitation here, like they'll tell me what my limitations are, and for the presses and things like that. But I love it. And it's so awesome just to have the press like down the road that I can drive to and be like, okay, let's do this. Let's run this through. Let's test this. They're always bringing me proofs, and it's just so nice to have that in my back pocket that I can just do what I need to do and then see it come to life and then make tweaks, on the fly.
What's it like with the team? Like, do they, because you do it routinely and they know you now, like and what you're how you're trying to push them and what they're capable of doing, has it caught on? Like, is it like a nice collaboration now? Oh yes, and is it almost like that?
Yeah. Like our production team is very much, we'll try it. We'll try anything. And then they'll come back and they'll be like, okay, Courtney, we can't do that, but we can do this. Or, we caught this, it needs to be moved however far in because we're having to do different scores and things like that. So the production team, while I think sometimes I become a pain in their butt a little bit, I also think that they have fun with it because it's just something different out of the norm than what they're usually doing. Yeah.
Okay, another last question before we get into show and tell.
Yeah.
Have any of those experiments turned into sparks of inspiration for customers or clients to try?
Yes, absolutely. And one of them is one we'll actually show, I think, later. But um, definitely, we've had a lot of the things that I design for self promotion. Um, we send it out, to our customers, of course, mailings and things like that. And we do get phone calls, and they do call us in and they're like, okay, tell us how you designed for that specifically. And or they'll say, okay, we're going to design it, but we want that embellishment, or whether that's clear ink or silver ink or whatever, they say we want to have that put in there. Can you do that part of it for us?
Hmm.
So there have been many times, yeah, that it's turned into a customer piece.
Fantastic. All right. We've been teasing them long enough. It's time for our favorite, my favorite part, considering this is our first episode. Yeah, it's still my favorite part. It's show and tell. It's show and tell. So, all right. Now we're going to go into screen sharing. Hopefully I get this right. So bear with me. And here we go. Sharing screen. And share. And okay. Here we go. Show and tell. Me too. Mo the monkey. Just the fact his name's Mo is awesome. Okay. Tell me about Mo. Tell everybody about Mo.
All right. Mo is, you will find him anywhere and everywhere within our shop, on our website, on our mailers, self promotions. Mo is, so when we rebranded back in 2021, the owners at the time came to me and they're like, okay, I want a monkey. And I'm like, why? Why a monkey? Do we need a reason? And I'm like, okay, no, I guess not. So I drew the one on the left there, Mo. I will say he is our official OG, the one in the teal with the yellow hat. But I drew him and I'm like, okay, there has to be a reason for him. I need a reason for him. So our owner's grandfather, he always wore a Newsies hat, newspaper boy hat. There's a term for it.
Okay.
And so that is why he's wearing the hat that he's wearing. I felt like, a printer in that time might wear suspenders and a bow tie. I just wanted to dress him up a little bit. But then also, our founder, his signature is in the sleeve on the left side there, MC Woods. So another tie-in then, his name is Mo. Our founder's nickname was Mo as well. So that's where Mo comes in. And like I said, the first one there, it was just, we thought he looked cool. So we put them together. Mo has taken on many, many different variations
Okay.
since. But the second one there, so he's in a t-shirt, he's chill, right? He has a rolled pack of cigarettes in his sleeve because they said that our founder liked to smoke a lot. But then also I wanted a mom tattoo. I don't know why. I just wanted to put a mom tattoo on him. So it is literally it's a heart and it has a ribbon and then it has two birds. And instead of mom in the ribbon, it has our founder signature as well in it. So
Wow. That's amazing. All right. And you said there is more of Mo.
there is, over, the past, I would say 5 years, he has just, I don't know. I can't even explain it. We needed, a Valentine's Day pose. And I'm like, what better way to put a rose in Mo's mouth? And, there's been baseball self promos. So, of course, we had to put him in that. Halloween. The ghost one, I don't know. But yeah, so, along the way, we've just found different ways to incorporate him so that he's just become our mascot. I think my favorite, I don't know, I have a couple favorites. I was asked, okay, at some point you're gonna have to put a bottom on it. Like we need legs. So, you'll notice in the two of them on the bottom, I have started to create, like a full body for Mo. But my favorite one, honestly, is the surfer. But I really got into the ranger that we did for our D Scoop conference trip this year. I loved it.
Awesome. Mo's in good shape, I gotta say.
He is. He is.
he is he is a lean, mean fighting machine.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Moving on. Lila Gloom.
This is one of my favorite projects I've done. I was okay, the story is we needed to do for the quarter, we wanted to do a self-promotion on Security Inc. And I was like, okay, how do we make this relatable to our customers? Like, I know that there are customers out there, like, that they use Security Inc. every day. So it's not something that they need something flashy to figure it out. But I'm like, there's gotta be a different tactic to this as to how we can promote this to our customers. And maybe they don't know that they could use it. Like what are the different ways that they could incorporate it in their business besides just, Security Inc. for tickets or things like that. So I asked our marketing team if they would be willing to let me kind of run with this. And it was around Halloween time. I had just had a trip to Disney World, and there is a cookie shop down there. It's called Gideon's Bakehouse. If you've never been down there, you should try it. But it's very eclectic in its style. And I was like, I want to kind of get that quirkiness, almost, not really gothic, but like that vibe of, I don't want to make it scary, but I also want there to be illusion and mystery in this piece. And so I created Lila Gloom. She's the hidden guardian, and with the Security Inc., you have to have a special flashlight to be able to see her. And yeah, I sketched her out in the top right there. That's the sketch that I drew, and then scanned her in, and she kind of just took on this personality, very Haunted Mansion-ish. I had a little fun with our wrestler guys at the bottom there.
Yep.
They're the singing busts of the Haunted Mansion, but yeah, I don't know. It turned into this very cool piece. This is one of the pieces that I think helped spark an idea for a local customer. I don't know if you're aware of like the Polar Express train rides around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Polar Express in, I think it's French Lick, Indiana, they contacted us and they were like, okay, we need an idea for how to put Believe on our tickets. Could we do like a raised ink and just having a conversation? And I'm like, would you be open to using a black light? And they said, well, what do you have in mind? And I'm like, well, we have Security Inc. And it would be really cool if, as the conductors are walking down the train, like they flash a black light, flashlight on the tickets, and it shows the word Believe.
Oh, it's perfect.
And so, yeah, that's like I said, I think that this piece helped spark those ideas and those generations. And so for me, it really served its purpose.
That's
in
amazing.
a very cool way.
That's very cool. Reminds me a little bit of the Timothy Burton movies as well. I don't know if you've seen any of those.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. All right, Dad Water. Great name again. I love the sketch. I love the fact that you showed us behind the scenes.
So I had to show this because I needed you, I wanted you to know where the idea came from. So, Dadwater was a project that we had actually worked with the Mom Water team, um, just helping them out with some of their initial promotional items, swag, and then also doing a little bit of design marketing material work for them. They had their own team, but we were just kind of like that extension of their team at the time. And we found out that they were going to launch Dad Water, which Mom Water is a vodka water drink, and then Dad Water was going to be a tequila water drink. And so we we found out that they were looking to have their logo created, their branding created. Um, we asked if we could have the possibility to bid on that, and they were like, it was Friday, and they were like, we're actually signing on with this, we're having a meeting with this other team on Monday. And they're like, if, you can present a bid to us by then or before like at 9 a.m. on Monday, then we'll listen. So we put together a bid over the weekend, and presented it at 9 a.m. on Monday, and they were like, yeah, okay, we're going with you. So then we had a meeting scheduled to bring their whole team in and have kind of like a deep dive session as to the things that they liked or didn't like, in style and colors and all of the good information so that we could get direction for design. And the owners, our owners were out in Colorado, and they were on their way home on a flight, and this is the drawing that I got for a logo example. And I was like, really? Where are we going with this? Um, and so I took this and I came up with the next slide, Mr. Agave.
Mr. Agave.
So I was like, okay, I see what you want or what you're doing here, but then I'm like, he has tequila in him. Like we have to have incorporate the agave plant in some way. So I made it his hair. And then the owners of Mom Water, they were like, okay, we want, that 80s style mustache, like the 80s style dad. Um, and I'm like, what better way to add the Tom Selleck mustache?
Love it.
And then also I'm like, aviators, he has to have aviators. So I put this together and sent it back to our owners and was like, okay, how about this version? And they were like, okay, keep it. So the team came in, the Mom Water team came in, sat down, we were talking with them. This is in the background. And at the end of the meeting with the Mom Water team, I got asked, "Hey Courtney, pull that image up that you've been working on." And I was like, "Dude, we are not done. We're not ready. Like this isn't complete." And they were like, it's fine, just throw it up." So we threw him up and they were like, 100% he's it.
That's the best.
They're like, we're gonna do, I want a tattoo. And I was like, wait, what? You're gonna tattoo him? On you? And they're like, yeah. And then they started thinking of names and they came up with Mr. Agave. So we knew we had the icon, and then it was just a matter of getting like the word mark put in. And again, they wanted to go, that 80s Atari style look. So yeah, that's where Dad Water came in. And then our next part of the project was we were tasked with developing 4 can designs. And each can had to represent a dad, and that dad had personality. So the first, and I will say the orange, Rodney, Gary, and Steve were done within the first initial designs for them were done probably in about 4 hours. Like it was just that quick. Like we were rocking and rolling. Tom took a little more time to figure out, but yeah, like so Rodney is the car guy, he's the mechanic, you know. Gary is more so like that uh music guy. He's the music dad. He listens to records. Steve, he is the basketball dad. So the the can is
Short.
yeah, yeah, like the Bulls shorts.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then Tom is the lawn guy. He's the lawn dad. And so, you know, what better way to put lawn stripes and Mr. Agave in the lawn design.
Oh my God. No, I love the stories now. That's amazing. Oh, that's wonderful.
It was such an exciting project, honestly, because, you know, just we worked with the team to help them develop the personalities. I mean, they pretty much had everything, but then we sat in and we're like, okay, what can we build on this, and where can we go? And um, I don't know. I love seeing these cans. They're unique, and you don't see cans like this out
No,
in the world, and so it was just all around super fun.
the stories make it. That's so great. All right. I think this is the last one.
He
Larry the
is.
Bear, near and dear to my heart.
You haven't seen this piece.
I haven't. This is the only way I've seen it is right here in the photos.
I
So
know. Well, it will be coming to you, I promise. I told him
fantastic.
I was like, Chris has got to be like the first one to see this.
Well, technically, maybe I am.
You are, you are. But yeah, so of course, Larry the Bear, you and the D Scoop marketing team did your absolute amazing magic and created Larry the Bear and all of his awesomeness. And I was like, okay, I wanted to create something. I have a line drawing and it's on my desk, and it's just the simple outline of Larry the Bear with his headphones on. And then I was like, okay, how do I do this? Do I just make this into like a print to send to you? And I was like, I don't really know. I want to make this bolder, I guess. So then we turned it into the t-shirt design
Yep.
where he's kind of like that poly um geometric shaped bear design, and I was like, "Oh, I love this." Well, whenever you did your video on LinkedIn, Ryan and Paul with Harris and Bruno. Shout out to Harris and Bruno. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm going to. I'm gonna plug them. But they reached out to us and they were like, "We want to bling the bear," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And they go, "Hop on a call with us. We want to bling the bear." And I was like, "Okay." So we hopped on a call with them, and it turned into kind of like a marketing piece, honestly, for us with tactile print. And yeah, we worked with Ryan and Paul, and you know, came up with all the embellishments, the foils, the different foil colors and the varnishes, and took it into this piece. And I wanted a DJ card because I wanted Larry the Bear to have his own piece. And I wanted him as big as we could make him. And so yeah, like I don't know. He turned out so awesome. I have actual pieces in hand right now, and
Oh,
I look at him
nice.
and we're all like, these are awesome.
Nice. Yeah. I just the what and not having worked with Harris and Bruno and played with their embellishments, just the the textures that you used, having played with it and failed and then played with it again, just really impressed with how you integrated that in because of the refraction of the light, and no matter which way you hold it, you're going to get something, which I think is the one of the magic um, when you do it right, it's magical with the embellishment. So,
Yeah.
kudos to you for picking up on that.
Yeah. And like the front of the piece, like the sound bars, I told them, I said, okay, I want this piece to move. And they were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I want whenever a person is holding it, I want it to move. I want those sound bars to look like there's movement there. I said, I know we're not literally going to move the piece. I get it, but I said that's what I want to see. And they did it. Honestly, they're like, we're just going to take a few of the blocks and we're going to embellish them. And we think that that'll give you enough movement whenever you move the piece, to get the effect that you're looking for. And it's
That's
simple.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Let's see. And then there they are all together.
Yep. Yep.
So cool. So cool. All right. Well, thanks for the show and tell.
Yeah.
Really excited. That was awesome. All right. Sharon now. Now we're back. Uh, that's my favorite. Thank you so much. It's like a treat.
Like I said, we're sending it your way for sure.
All right. So what do you still love about designing for print? You've been doing it for a while now. Like
Yeah.
what keeps you excited about it?
I think honestly, the technology, the changing of the technology, the changing of all the different capabilities. Um, I said earlier, I'm kind of spoiled, having being a designer in a print shop. And I think that just being able to run over to the presses and to test out all of the cool capabilities, the raised ink, the embossing, debossing type things, um, embellishments, silver ink, all those things. Like it just makes designing so much more exciting. And that's part of it, like the strategy behind it and figuring out, okay, we have these capabilities. What can I use within the designs that I'm creating for our company to show our customers what the capabilities are that we have and really give them just a different outlook on it.
Yeah. All right. Now, a pet peeve of mine is uh, students aren't graphic design students aren't really getting all that education on print anymore.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of the um, classes are just on user interfaces and digital. What can we do? Like, how do we get people excited? How do we get the youngins excited about this?
Yeah. Um, so if you're a print house, I suggest, and if you are a print house and you don't have designers in your shop, I would highly suggest considering having them either intern or honestly hiring them. Um, we have a bunch of local high schools that we have come in and tour through the shop, and a lot of them are design classes. And, the teachers always say, we're so thankful that we have a company like yours around here because the design opportunities are a little bit few and far between around here.
All right.
But whenever they come in and they're talking to the design team, we have them come in and we have them in our space and we have conversations with them. And I always say to them, I was like, if you have it, you have the ability. If you have the ability to intern with a print house or possibly even work for a summer when you're off to college, and you need or a break or something like that. 100% do it because it only makes you a stronger designer, and honestly, it makes you an untouchable designer. For you to truly understand print and how to design for print, like I don't know, like it just that knowledge, you can't beat that knowledge.
All right. Okay, my final question. And it's
Okay.
perfect because it's the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
time to recharge. what does Courtney do to recharge? What recharges your batteries?
If you'd asked me this question probably 2 years ago, I would have said, I have no idea. Um, because I was very gung ho and very just like career focused. But I've made it a point over the past 2 years to really try and take the time off to recharge and to refuel my creativity, I would say. So me and my husband are really trying to travel a little bit more. And I know that that sounds like a pretty easy answer, but just to get out and get away. And I think, yes, we go to Florida a lot and that refuels me, but um trying to get out and see other places and just be outdoors and yeah, I think traveling is my answer right now. I also noticed last night, I had a really busy day and I was kind of stressed out and um being able to go to my daughter's like sporting events. She had a softball game last night and I was sitting there and I was doing the mom thing, cheering her on. And I'm sitting there and I thought to myself, you know what? Like, you haven't thought about work once this whole
Awesome.
time, which is good, right? Like, that's what
Right.
we want. So I think just, being present with my family and my daughter and traveling, that's what recharges my batteries right now.
Awesome. Well, like I said, it's the end of the day. Time to go do that.
Absolutely.
Courtney, thank you so much for spending time with me today in the art gallery on Print Island. Really appreciate you having visit.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.